Hey, welcome to Choxy's Den. I'm Den. That's Choxy. I don't know where she's camera shy. And just hanging around, just thinking about stuff. And oh, I got a subscriber. Thank you, subscriber. I appreciate it. I got my one subscriber. I'm happy. I can retire now. I'm good. But my poor puppies. Molly over here took her Choxy's bed. And Choxy doesn't like to sit next to me sometimes, so she just gets up and walks right into her cold cage over there. Chox, you can sit with me if you want to, girl. Why'd you come over here? She doesn't want to. Anyway, I'm just sitting around. I'm watching videos. There's a guy, I forget his name. He's good. He's an old guy like me. What's his name? Offended Outcast. I'm subscribed to his channel. There's a few other guys. The Dog Man. He's good. All these guys are good. They're all my age. They talk about stuff. I have no idea what to talk about. They get stuff they're talking about, and people listen. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. But this the Offended Outcast gentleman here, he lives in a camper. I live in a trailer. Kind of the same thing. But he's talking about like I realize like I'm kind of blessed. I've been in here for about almost 20 years. I think it's been like since 2008. I moved in. Well, into the park. This is my third trailer. First one I was renting. My boss at the time was a landlord. I think I touched on this in another video, but he was a landlord. I got laid off. I was a grave digger. I got laid off. He wasn't paying the rent. He was charging me double the rent than the park fee was. So he stopped paying the rent. He got evicted. He lost the trailers. In turn, I got evicted because they didn't put them on the auction block, and I couldn't get. I wanted to get one, but anyway, I bought a trailer across the street for $1. Did a bit. I think I went through all this, fixed it up, stayed there for a few years, and I got the chance to move into the one I'm in now. But when I first moved to this place years ago, I was like, the trailer park. I really don't want to live in a trailer park. It's just like let's get that stigma with it, and not that I really care about stigmas, but I had like a condo at one time, which is not a house, but I was making a mortgage payment on it, and I lost the job I had then. I touched on that in another video because a friend of mine threw me under the bus, and I lost that job. And I'm sitting here, I'm listening to this guy, and he's got a lot of good points that sometimes you fall into this trap, like from the time you're young until the time you're on my age. You got to stay at the same job forever. Get a mortgage on a house for 30 years. You can't, you got to go through all kinds of problems of selling it and everything and buying another one somewhere. And it's just, if people look at you, if you don't have these things like a house or a condo or a brand new car, society, you got to keep up with the Joneses, I guess. And I've never been the one to do that. I've taken out car loans, but never for a new car. I've never owned a new car. I bought used cars, used trucks, and you're still at the same thing. You got to pay payments on it, and you're working your whole life to make a payment, a car payment, a rent payment, or a mortgage payment, and all your money goes to that. Where I live now, my rent is pretty cheap. I bought the trailer outright. I'm not gonna say how much it was, but it was cheap. It was a cheap. It was a good deal. So I bought the trailer. I rent the land, which is really cheap. It's not a trailer park, mobile home park, trailer park. But the rent is pretty cheap, and I'm blessed. I look back now and I'm like, I've been here for like almost 20 years, and I could have been struggling all this whole time. I managed to start this business walking dogs years ago. That wouldn't have been able to do if I had like an apartment somewhere that was for big money, as rents are. I couldn't have had the dog walking company. Couldn't have been working for myself. I don't make a lot of money at it. At one time, I was doing pretty good. I had like a bunch of dogs I was walking, and like COVID came along and kind of wiped out the business a little bit. So I'm like half staff, I guess you'd say it, as far as like the dogs go. And I've tried advertising the last few years, and I got a few new dogs here and there. But my first generation of dogs are gone now. They're all deceased. Most of them, except for Molly. Molly's one of the last. I started the business about 18 years ago, and Molly was the sister of a dog that I started walking from the beginning. And Molly came around about 3 years into the business. I was in business for like 3 years, and Molly came around. Her sister Lucy passed away, which was sad because she was a beautiful dog too. But I've been walking Molly ever since. So she was about 1 when I started walking, and I think it was like 15 years ago. So she's got to be 15 or 16 years old. The others don't even know. They got her, they didn't know how old she was when they got her. The shelter told them she might be a year old or something. And she was definitely a year or more old because she was fully grown. So I've been walking her. She's like one of the original members of the crew. But for the most part, all the other ones are gone. I'm on my second generation of dogs now. And there's no way I could have boarded them in an apartment. I wouldn't have been able to afford rent in an apartment doing what I'm doing because it's good money, but it's not great money. I'm never gonna get rich from it, you know. So all these years I've been living here, and I've been feeling like I live in a trailer park, but I've been blessed. I mean, I'm not struggling for money. I've managed to, I got cars on the road. I got a truck. I've got a Jeep Cherokee that I love, an old one. I mean, these aren't new cars. I mean, the truck's like a 2011, the Cherokee's like a 2001. So these aren't new vehicles, and they're not worth much. And I've got two Harleys that I bought with cash. One's a 2003, one's a 2007. The 2003 I've had for years. I've been over this, I think. I've had that since like 2010, 2011. The 2007 Deluxe I bought last year. And I was going to sell the Road King. That's got too much sentimental value. I've ridden across halfway, well, maybe not halfway across the country, but I'm in New England. I've ridden it to Kentucky, Pennsylvania a couple of times, up north to Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire. It's got sentimental value, so I don't want to get rid of it. But at the same time, I was getting so that my legs, I've got the conditions, the leg nerve condition of my legs and my arms and stuff. So I've lost strength in my limbs. I was having a little bit of trouble manhandling the Road King around, backing it up and everything. So the Deluxe is a little lighter, like 150 pounds or so lighter. And I figured I have a little bit more control over it. If I was parked, I couldn't, to back it up and keep using my legs, which I do. But I was planning on selling the Road King, but I can't do that because it's got sentimental value. And plus, I put some work into it a few years ago. It costs a little bit of money. So if I sell it, I'm going to lose money. I might just keep it. I can still ride it once in a while, but I can't. It's not my number one bike that I take, like on short trips. I don't go far anymore. I stay local mostly. So the Deluxe is good for that. But I'm living in this house. It's a nice house. Everything works. It's got a roof. 4 walls or so. It's shaped like a rectangle, but it's got the kitchen, got a bathroom, a living room, a bedroom, nice yard. I got 2 carports. I've got a carport for my truck. Got a carport over my deck in the back. I can sit out there when it's raining. It's got a nice little yard, fenced-in yard for the dogs when I can board them. And I've got it made. I'm rich as far as I'm concerned. I'm rich because I don't have a car payment. I drive around. I see all these people driving around in new cars, and I know what they're going through because I've been there. I've had car loans before, and you're struggling. You got to make that stupid payment every month for a car that's breaking down, and it's not worth anything by the time you sell it. It's not worth like all the money. Excuse me, bro. It's not worth the money you put into it. And I kind of look at these people like they're idiots. I can't. I would never take. I could get rich. I still probably wouldn't buy a new car if I hit the lottery tomorrow. I don't think I'd buy a new car or a new bike. I'd probably still buy something used. It's nice, but I don't think I'd go out and buy a new truck because I think it's just. Well, maybe I would buy a new truck. I gotta admit that I'd probably buy a new truck. As far as motorcycles, I don't need a new motorcycle. They're just. I like the old ones. I like one of my bikes is carbureted, the other one is fuel injected. I get the best of both worlds, and they run, they start up. But I feel pretty lucky. I gotta admit, I feel pretty lucky that I have this place. I have my dog Choxy, who's camera shy. Got dogs like Molly over here, who my board her once in a while, and that's always fun. But I feel like I've been pretty blessed in life. Besides from the physical I don't want to say liability. I guess still disability. It's a disability I have. I can still function. I can still ride my motorcycles. I can still walk. I was worried for a few years I won't be able to, because the CIDP thing, it can take away your mobility. It can make you, it'll get you, you'll get paralyzed more if you don't take care of it, if they don't find it right away. So I've been getting treatments for that every month for the last 4 or 5 years, however long I've had it. I think it's 5. It might be going on 6 years now, actually. I think it started like in the 2019, maybe in 2020 it started. And I didn't take any, the thing, the other thing. I never took that. So I don't think it can't be from that. I think it's just natural. It's like seven people out of every 100,000 people get this thing, I think. So that's only 70 people per 1 million people get the CIDP, and they don't know what causes it. The year before I got it, I fell down, broke 5 ribs. I think I've mentioned that before. And I said to the doctor, my neurologist, I said, I started getting this thing. I said to her, hey, do you think this might have anything to do with me breaking my ribs? And she said, no, absolutely not. I said, well, what does cause it? And she said, we don't know. So how does she know my broken ribs didn't cause it? It's not a thing. I'm in the medical profession. No, the broken ribs did not cause it. Okay, but what did? We don't know. Yeah, no idea. So, but it definitely wasn't the broken ribs. Nope, wasn't the broken ribs. Okay, I'm no doctor, but I think that sounds pretty stupid not to even consider the broken ribs, because I was in this spot on this couch for 2 months. Couldn't sleep in my bed. Couldn't lay down. This very spot. Couldn't do anything for almost 2 months. Probably like 7 weeks. So the last week I was driving a little bit and everything. But no, it wasn't the broken ribs. Okay, thanks, Doc. But that might have done it. I don't know. But at the same time, I still feel lucky. I'm walking around. I can function. And a lot of people out there are struggling. I don't know how they do it. People, and I don't know how they're doing it. Like, really, how are they doing it? I mean, the rent's outrageous. Everybody's saying there's a job shortage, which I see. I mean, I drive around all day picking up dogs in one town, and even in that one town, there's people driving around all day. The volume of traffic is just, I can't understand where these people are going all day during the midday. It's not all workmen. I mean, you see workmen driving around in their vans and stuff, but you see like young people, like, I don't know, 20s, 30s, 40s, driving around all day. And I'm asking myself, where are these people going? Where are they coming from? Do they have jobs? They'll drive around nice cars. Look like they have nice cars that have been, you had to take a payment out for. And I can't figure out where they're getting the money from. Because they have to live somewhere too, right? They drive around these nice cars that they get payments on. Plus they have to live someplace where the rents are high. I'm right outside of Boston, so I know, you're not going to get a cheap apartment here anymore. Where I'm living is cheap. I mean, it's like 1980s cheap. Maybe 1970s, I don't know. Because it's kind of rent controlled, because, a lot of us in here don't make a lot of money. But at the same time, where are these people getting this money? And they're driving around all day. I can see if they're at work, but then a lot of these people are just driving around. Where are they going? Where are they coming from? What are they doing? Why are they in my way? Why are they in my way driving around when I'm going around trying to pick up dogs every day? I just can't figure it out. I can't figure this world out. And I'm still struggling. I'm 62. I have to work. I'm going to start collecting Social Security this month. I did apply for it. I ended up applying for it before my birthday, so it takes 2 months for them to send you the first check. My birthday was back in December, so I'll be getting the first check hopefully at the end of February. It's not a lot of money. It's about probably less than what a studio or a 1-bedroom apartment would be around here. If I was living in an apartment, the Social Security wouldn't even pay for the whole amount of rent. Let's put it that way. So it's not a whole lot of money. And I'm still struggling. I say, I'll be out walking the dogs in the woods. I see these guys out there on a Monday at like 10 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock, and 2 o'clock in the afternoon riding around on their mountain bikes. Like, why don't you have a job? They're out there. I'm out there hustling at 62, trying to get dogs not to pull me down in the woods. And they're out there just enjoying they giving me dirty looks for having dogs, walking dogs in the woods. Like I'm doing something wrong. They get a job. Get a job. Get out of the woods. When I was that age, I had a job every day I had to go to. Oh, I'm a grumpy old man. I am a grumpy old guy. But I'm entitled. When you get to be my age, you get to be entitled to be a grumpy old man once in a while. But I'm really not grumpy. I just can't figure out the world sometimes. But here I am. I'm living in my trailer, and I love it. The people in the neighborhood are nice. Everybody's good. I've been here for a long time. Like I said, it'll be almost it's like 18, 17 or 18 years. It was 2008 when I moved in, so I'm close to 20 years. I mean, I'm a 20-year soon, and I like it. I'm not gonna move anytime soon, and I don't know. I don't even know why I'm making this video. I was trying to get content so people subscribe. And thank you again to my one subscriber. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Now leave a comment. Say why you're subscribed or why you're not. Why you gotta unsubscribe. Anything will do. But I like to make a little cash from this YouTube thing. Not a lot. I don't need to get rich. I know I'm not gonna get 1 million subscribers sitting here with my beautiful quilt on the couch next to me and my dogs. I'm not gonna get 1 million subscribers. But if I can get enough where I can make a couple $100 a month, a few hundred, something like a month, just to a little extra income on top of my Social Security, I might not have to walk dogs forever, which I like doing. I do. I love walking the dogs. I love dogs, so I can't complain about that. But what I can't complain about is my health. And right now we have snow out there, and I actually had to cancel this past week's walks because the snow was so deep. I could barely walk in it. The dogs couldn't walk in it; it goes up to their chest, and they can't walk an hour in that kind of snow. I had to keep them out there for an hour in the woods, so they can't walk an hour in that kind of snow. Dogs can't. I can't. So what I did Thursday, today's Saturday. What I did Thursday was I got a pair of snowshoes, and I walked through the woods like 400 or 500 yards into the woods on the snowshoes. And I never worn snowshoes. It wasn't that much fun, but you get used to them. So I walked in, walked out the same path. Like I kind of flattened down a path, so at least on Monday I'll be able to get some dogs in the woods and start making money again. But even the people in the neighborhood, I see them in there once in a while walking the dogs. You think they'd go in there before Thursday to make a path? No, there's all virgin snow, not a footprint in there except for mine. So I guarantee there'll be footprints in there Monday using my trail that I made. I guarantee that. 62-year-old guy making tracks for like people in their 30s and 40s who stay home from work all day or work from home. They walk their dogs in the woods. Here I go again, getting grumpy. I know. I'm not gonna get grumpy. But they're probably waiting for me to. They're probably waiting for me to blaze a trail. 62-year-old guy who can barely walk. They're probably waiting for me to blaze a trail with my dogs. And I tricked them. I didn't go in there all week except a couple of days during the week I went in like maybe 40 yards, walked some of the dogs like 40 yards. We had to turn around and go back because they were looking at me like it was only Choxy and another dog, Jasper, a chocolate lab. Even he was having trouble. And so I walked in there a couple of days with them. And then Thursday I got the idea to put the snowshoes on and go flatten out a path. And that worked out pretty good. I was able to walk in there a little further without Choxy. I left her in the truck. I didn't bring her with me. And then after we get back, I went back to the truck, got her, we went for a little walk, let her do her business. I mean, back to the truck, came home. So hopefully, Monday, the trail will be good enough for the dogs to walk on, and I can go back to work. I don't like being out of work. So I don't know. But again, thank you for subscribing. My number one subscriber. Hopefully, a couple more people subscribe. I'm not even sure if I'll post this video. I think I will. I don't know how to label it. I don't know what to call it. And I'm trying to work on this YouTube thing where I can make thumbnails and also add texts and stuff, make it look a little more professional. But I'm not too good at this stuff right now. I'll admit that. But it's still fun. I kind of like making these videos, just in case someday they might take off and I'll get some comments. I'm going to talk back and forth with people and. Just no mean stuff. No swearing. No swearing at me. I don't care if you call me a goober or whatever. But, as long as there's no profanity and stuff, because I want this to be a kind of a channel anybody can tune into, but hopefully it's like a channel that guys my age can, in my kind of position, my boat, kind of support. I like supporting these other guys. Get subscribe to their channels. I haven't left any comments yet, except for one the other day with this name. I have my other YouTube channel is this one I use for listening to music and stuff. This one's mine that I post my videos on. So I never commented with this YouTube channel name, Choxy's Den, and I think I've explained that like 5 or 6 times why it's Choxy's Den. Den. My dog is Choxy. Choxy's Den. I thought it was kind of clever, but did I ever tell you about my quilt? My niece made me this quilt for Christmas. It's beautiful, isn't it? I think I've said that like 4 or 5 times already. I'm running out of stuff to say. But I'm gonna get off of here. Maybe I'll make another video tomorrow. It's Saturday, I got bored. So maybe tomorrow I'll make another video on Sunday. And I made one earlier today about working out on my total gym. I'm pointing it to it. It's right behind my camera. I worked out today in the total gym. I was gonna make a video on my Insta360 X4. And I'll be darned if I can figure out how to download that thing to my computer so I can put it on YouTube. And it's just one more thing for an old guy to learn. But I want to learn how to do the thumbnails and the text on here so I can at least make it look a little more professional. Not that it's going to look very professional, but a little more professional. Just instead of, my face. I'd like to get a thumbnail where I can go. Something like that. Which YouTube won't do that. I'll post a video and I'll look like, like that or something. I don't care. But, well, thanks for tuning in, my one subscriber. I appreciate you. Hopefully I'll get a few more subscribers and, people will start leaving comments and I'll be able to talk back and forth to these a little bit. But when I get off of here, I gotta try to do this button. I wish I could figure out, the selfie stick. You're supposed to be turning it off without like doing this stuff. And it just won't go off. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it one more time. I tried it last night. Didn't work, but I'm gonna try it again today. I'm gonna say good night. I'll say goodbye, whatever I'm gonna say. And then I'm gonna sit here and go, it's not turning off. Enough to go like this. But anyway, all right, thanks for listening, guys. And my one subscriber, I appreciate you. And we'll talk to you soon, okay? See, it ain't shutting off. We'll talk to you soon. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment.